activities that we're going to do throughout the presentation. Right now, we're the Massive Stand-Up in the Fighting Against Poverty team at Lincoln. I'm Allie.
I'm Rafi. I'm Paula. I'm Christina.
And we're going to start off our presentation with a short video of what the world would look like if it was condensed to 100 people. The small village of 100 people.
Can you make it close to the
Yeah, it was originally published in 1990, but changes have been made accordingly, so it's updated to the full statistics.
Can you close the pop-up?
Really like this video because it helps us see all these statistics that are like thrown at us every day, all these millions of people who are suffering due to poverty, and kind of condense it and kind of really be able to appreciate it and understand it. We have all these things that we take for granted, like a bed or a refrigerator, while 75%, a huge amount of this village, this small community, wouldn't have it. So part of what we want to do is we want to not only appreciate what we have and understand that we're the haves, we're the people who have beds, we're the people who have refrigerators, who have access to clean water and sanitation, but also try to look at the poverty around us and try to inspire and change things in our own communities, to take a stand against the poverty and lack of education and lack of basic necessities in our own communities. I'm not sure if you've driven around Buenos Aires at all, but if you've seen, has anybody seen the villas? What they call it? There's these huge, sprawling, like, tiny little concrete houses kind of stacked on each other. And it's just everywhere. It's contrasting to these huge buildings, and yet people live here and they're mostly ignored in these tiny little houses. So right now we're going to do an activity that has to do with this. It's called Take a Step, and Paola and Christina are going to explain it for you.
So can everybody just...
You were given cards. By red we mean pick. So what we're going to do right now is...
Please stand up. Yeah.
Okay, can you all stand up on this line?
On the white cake line, right in the middle of the classroom.
Yeah, if you guys got a paper, let me know.
Please face the other direction. So right now, as you can see, we have 3 buzzers and make noises. Here's this is right now. And we have alfajores underneath. So the point of the game is to grab the alfajores in yeah, and you guys eat them or you can do really whatever you want with them. We don't tell you how to write your lives. But the point is, take a step. So you're each going to you have cards and you're each assigned to specific places in society. Some of you have better opportunities, some of you not so much. We'll see what that happens. We'll see what happens there. The goal of the game is to not fall behind, not fall into poverty. So
you just mainly you've just been born, so you're neutral at this point.
And we're going to be reading a set of instructions out, and whatever instructions you give, you have to give reporting on a step. Yeah. Either forward or backwards. Okay, so if you have a red card and you're on the right side of the room, your family was affected by high levels of debt growing up, such as credit card debt, difficulty making mortgage payments, or fear of foreclosure on a home.
right side, the cut is right here.
Take 2 steps.
So make a small steps.
Small
Take,
step.
guys,
One
guys, really
small step
tiny
back.
baby steps.
Really tiny, small step back.
And if we're on this side, will we cover it?
You don't do it.
You just stay there.
If you have a blue card, you had a stable family and grew up with both parents present. Take 2 steps forward.
Small baby steps.
That's everyone with a blue card, right?
Yes.
That's everyone.
Could one of you with a blue card move to the other side of the room?
If you have a yellow card and are on the right side of the room, you had 1 parent present in a stable and loving home life. Take 1 step forward.
A what card?
Yellow.
Everybody that has a yellow card is
No,
blue.
no, right side of the room.
If you have a blue card, you grew up speaking English as your first language. Take 2 steps forward.
No blue card.
If you have a yellow card, you grew up speaking English as a second language, but eventually learned English well. Take 1 step forward.
Please make it small.
If you have a red card, you never really learned English until you were 9. Take 1 step backwards. If you have a red card, at times you didn't own a pair of shoes. Take a step backwards.
If you own a red card.
Well, if you have shoes, you're actually better off than 300 million children worldwide.
If you have a red card, you have to go through winters without heat and summers without air conditioning. Take a step back. If you have a blue or yellow card, you did have these things. Take a step forward. If you have a blue or yellow card, you always had access to clean water and sanitation. Take a step forward. If you have a red card, this was not the case. Take 2 steps back. So you have access to clean water. That's something that 780 billion people don't. And you have access to adequate sanitation, then you are better off than over 2.5 billion people. If you have a red card and are on the left side of the room, your family didn't have access to a phone or television when you were growing up. Take 1 step back.
So from you?
Yeah, the left. From Matthew. If you have a blue or yellow card and are on the right side of the room, you will always have access to the computer and the internet when you needed it. Take 2 steps forward.
Right? Sorry.
esta es la poverty line. Yes, es de que
One of you guys on that side of the
Yes,
room?
it's
Yes,
not.
everybody got, like, all the blue ones got it. If you can read the sentence that's right behind you, nearly 1 billion people entered the 21st century unable to read a book or sign their names.
You have a place that you call home. There are 1.9 billion children from the developing world. There are 640 million children who don't have access to adequate coverage. That's one every person.
We already have winners, we could probably wrap it up.
Aquí
But
no-
the point is that if you look where you're standing, that line right there, that duct tape kind of represents the top of the top, the 1% of people who own in the small community, the 6 people who own,
Which is the blue cards, they were able to cross the line.
if they had more opportunities. They grew up, if you looked at the statistics we used, they had access to access to clean water, to a bed, they didn't have to share a bed, they had access to internet. We wouldn't think that important, but it's a huge resource. If you look behind you, we spend more in cosmetics in the United States than on basic education for all. And if we just got our priorities straight, we'd be able to help these people, the red people, and some of the other people.
I know, I was just saying that this is gross.
Okay.
Like white, like the red is the poor people.
Yes, the red people are the ones, if you look at that, duct tape on behind you, it's people who have reached poverty. It's the people who you have, if you notice, I heard a lot of you like making, unhappy noises, like, or laughing, like, as you were moving backwards, because you saw all these people moving ahead of you, moving towards their goals in lives, which is, deserving by us.
And if you notice this, the red, people have red cards. You guys are a huge group compared to the yellow one, which have, I don't know how many, but have there, and then these are only 3. And they got to the, well, to the ending line here.
You put the next slide. We're gonna just think about some questions. You can sit back down on your spot.
Ya, agarrar los cojines de-
Sorry. Guys, does anybody want one? Yeah. Sorry. I'm sorry.
So here, just you don't have to answer all these questions, but here just
Just read through them, and if you guys have any thoughts or what you think of this activity, or, you know, was it fair at all, at any rate? Because, I mean, it was pure luck. Like, I gave you guys a card. I didn't plan it out who would get each card. You just happened to get a red one. You just happened to get a blue one.
you happen to be born into the environment that you were born in. So, do you have any thoughts? Was there anything that surprised you guys? Any of the questions that, any of the facts that we read out that you didn't expect? Much? Yes.
I think that it was like a little, like there was none in the middle, maybe like a yellow more like in between like the middle class.
Yeah.
So like instead of so drastic, like
Yeah, we were hoping to have more space. If we had more space and like it
Kept going. The yellow would have fallen a bit behind.
we would have had more finish type of thing. Were there any step backwards that were kind of memorable for you? Like some of the facts that we read, like if you don't have
Air conditioning, or you guys had to take a step back.
was there anything that you didn't expect to be on there? Or I guess have you all kind of been exposed to these kind of issues? Yes.
Something that really stood out just as an observer watching the people come forward and back is just how much of a head start and just how it seems really difficult for those stepping back to ever really step forward, or even if they do take a step forward, they're still so far behind. So I think it really showed that, you know, it's really hard to catch up, and there's so much sort of stacked against people in poverty, and it seems really unfair that there's only 3 blue cards. get all of the wealth.
Did you kind of see any? By the way, if you say something insightful, we might give you an alcohol. So did this activity kind of did it help you identify some of the root causes of poverty? Like, were there some things that you noticed that you saw might have an escalating effect on the blue people that were moving backwards? Yes.
Education is English or
Yes.
I think it's mostly when you're born. Like, if you're born in a richer family, you have more opportunities than if you're born in a poorer family, you have less.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I was impressed that, like simple opportunities, like speaking a certain language or like not having something could make you like much poorer or much richer.
Yes.
I just had a question on why not speaking English was viewed as a disadvantage.
That's a question.
Yeah.
Well, right now in the developing world, a lot of job opportunities they require English as language, especially if you are moving to a new country to find a job. If you're unfamiliar with the language, it's really hard to get work compared to somebody who speaks fluently or somebody who at least has a better grasp of the language. It's also harder to a lot of immigration issues. It's harder to defend yourself, to know your rights, to defend your own rights, and it might not be such a big issue if you speak Spanish fluently and are in a Spanish country or similar languages, but it can be a pretty tricky issue at times. Yeah. Paula, do you wanna? Can you answer your question? So yeah, this is pretty much our question. Like, where are you seeing the fight against poverty? Do any of you have poverty as your own issue or education? Or, what would you say is your like main goal in your own project? What would you say is your?
She said something.
Yes.
Oh, she did.
We're giving classes to kids who have low income and not so they get a better education.
Yeah, it's, what we wanted to kind of pull from that is giving another example that it all kind of ties together. We're all working towards education, towards giving these people a better chance at living with full, productive lives in accord with their own needs and interests. Yes.
My group is social education, but it focuses more on like digital device. So we're teaching like kids how to use like computers.
Yeah, that's as we saw in the little village, very few had access to internet and computers, and it all ties together. They're all root causes in themselves. So this is where we stand. This is a small, short video for the organization that we are working with.
Hi, I'm Fiona Rosie in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I'm the founder of a small charity called Todos Juntos, and today I'm going to take you into the slums of Buenos Aires.
So these are the beaches.
The slums of Buenos Aires are also known as the beaches areas. They're made up of makeshift homes, planks of wood and plastic and metal put together to make a home. They have no sanitation, no heating, no garbage disposal, no proper running water, no proper electricity. They often flood. Families living in the slums are usually composed of 8 members, often single moms, 6 or 7 children. I'm going to go inside now and try and film. Estás feliz, ¿no? Me parece, con una sonrisa muy linda. ¿Y cuántos son en la familia? 6. ¿Y dónde está tu mamá? ¿A qué hora va a volver tu mamá? A la 1. ¿Y te iba a preparar algo para comer. Y tienes todo para ir a la escuela, mochila, carpetas. ¿O te falta algo? ¿Sí? Y adentro no hay nada. ¿Me vas a llevar en tu casa? At the back there's the toilet. 40% of our class live below poverty line and 20% below extreme poverty line. Contame, cuando llueve en tu casa, ¿hasta dónde llega el agua? In just 3 years, Thomas Hunters has set up 3 fully equipped dental clinics where children from the surrounding slums come and receive free restorative care. These are all children that up till now have never had access to dental care. The NGO pays for all the equipment, the supplies and the dentist salaries. Last year we saved 4,000 teeth from extraction and we are the only charity in Argentina doing this work.
So, as you see from the video, these are the villas in Argentina, in Buenos Aires especially. I actually got the opportunity to go into the villas with Fiona Ambrossi, who is the founder of this group, and it's the only group who does this in Argentina, which is huge because they're such a tiny group, and they do so much, but they're a small organization and they make these huge changes for all these children whose teeth they fix and they help with their basic necessities, but they need all the help they can get because they're so small. So what we did is we heard the little girl saying she has a backpack, but she has nothing in her backpack. Our project was to fill up these backpacks, not only with school supplies, which we will concentrate on later, but right now with basic necessities, which are the most urgent things that they need. So things like children's clothes, blankets, toys, shoes, and food, and anything else that people decide to put into their backpacks.
We actually got the whole high school involved with this. We have advisory. I don't know how many of you guys have this in your school, but we assigned each advisory with these chores. Like we told them, if you guys have any backpacks at your house, or blankets, or children's clothes, toys, shoes, anything you guys can bring, please bring them in. We're going to be filling these backpacks and helping this project, the Juntos. And it was actually, we're not done with it, but it was actually quite successful. We do have some backpacks that are full already and that are ready to be taken, but we're still getting more.
So this is, I'm not sure if you saw the sign hanging over there with the gym message. Alright, so this is activity number 2, called Have Any of You Ever Played the Game of Life? So it's kind of a spin-off of the Game of Life. You don't have to move around. Yes, we will divide you into groups.
Three groups, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so please remember your number. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3. 1, 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, and 1. So, can we all have the groups separate? So 1, 2, and 3.
Te tocaba uno.
Did I skip you?
No, sí, pero tocaba uno.
Yeah, sure. So could the ones please come here? The 2s right over there. And the 3s please go in the back. Oh.
Once you're there, you can like sit down.
Yeah.
Sit
Like I recommend doing a circle in your group. This is 1, that's 2, this is 1. Yeah. We're all the biggest. How many?
Do you want to pass around some dice?
Share those in your group.
Here, do you want to?
Annie, share those in your group.
Well, one of them is white and the other has 3 colors.
Here, you guys have one.
The mother has 3 colors, but another daughter.
We should have one for everybody to have.
What? Right.
Here, can you pass it around?
Everybody should have one.
Everybody should have it. Wait, die. So we don't have this die.
What do you play?
Here.
Are you in,
Does everybody who doesn't have one die?
Does everyone have one? No, like all the
We're missing. Pass me a one to somebody.
like you said, like Zach, something like there were hosts.
Is missing one?
Is anybody missing one?
Everybody has one. All right, cool. So pretend you've just been born. Beginning of your lives, you're excited to go out and conquer your dreams and fulfill your goals and do everything you want to do in life. So right now you're going to get some of your dreams shattered. Okay. So we'll start this game off at the beginning of your lives. Let's see how your younger years worked out. If you're in this big group, you get to roll your die once. If you're in that group over there, you get to roll twice, and if you're in that group, you get to roll 3 times. Let's see how your younger years work out. If you roll now we're basing this on the honor system. So if you roll a 2 or higher, your family has assured access to food, clean water, and sanitation. You know where your next meal is coming from. If you roll a 1, you do not. You're born into poverty and you can't pass on to the next round.
So really quick, just figuring this out. If you fall into poverty, you're out of the game.
So I can't roll a 1.
No.
Okay. If you
But this group can only roll the die once. You guys can roll it twice. So they can roll it 3 times.
I'm dead.
Turn around and don't.
Observe quietly. All right. You managed to graduate from high school. Congratulations. If you roll a 4 or higher, your family has enough money to send you to college. If you roll a 3 or lower, you can't afford it. You died?
Yes.
Oh,
You have to get more than a 2. 2 or higher.
All right.
Okay.
Fast forward a few years into the future. You and your spouse are getting ready to retire. However, there's a stock market crash. If you roll a 5 or higher, you were able to pull out your money in time. If you roll a 4 or lower, you lost everything. You can't move on.
Wait, 5 or higher.
Oh, 5. Wow.
You lost Anderson. You did well. Did everybody roll?
Yep.
All right, you are retired. You are happy. Then you get cancer. If you roll a 6 or higher, you can afford treatment. You get better. 6 or high. Oh, never mind. You roll a 6. You can afford treatment. You get better, and you win the game of life. But at the end, you'll die anyways because everybody.
Well, you actually got a 6.
If not, you die.
I've always got it my first roll, so even if it was bad, I would survive.
Anybody?
No, I lost.
12.
No, you just count 1.
All right, who won? Who are any winners?
Yeah.
People who won.
Yeah, I was actually looking like that.
Yeah, Paula, can you give the people who won prizes? We have a stack left for each other. Alright, so let's find our way back to our spot. Give me 1, Paula, to give you food.
Please give all the dice.
We have like a Game of life, man. But you got it from home. Okay, so guys, yeah. Just pick it. So the point of that game was to show you determining whether you dad fell into poverty or whether you won the game of life and didn't fall into poverty. It was also the opportunities you had. How many, like, if you got to roll the dice 3 times, you had a much higher chance. Did anybody fall into poverty from that group that got to roll 3 times? You had a much higher chance. You had the resources available that could help you get ahead. If we had one person survive a long time because she got lucky, and but other than that, it was pretty much almost everybody who didn't have these resources fell into poverty. And that was huge. We hope that showed you in a visual way. So, well, it's good to know. Take a slide.
What can you do to help? You can donate books, you can donate clothes, money, any food, basically help out people that. Also, volunteer your time into raising awareness in your communities. For example, we explained how we helped our community in Buenos Aires, the Villas. I bet there's the same sort of issues in your communities. It's really good to sort of get in touch with organizations that are helping, volunteer your time in those communities, and try to raise awareness to your school about those communities and the ways that you guys can help individually.
Morning. Just a side note, this project, we're doing it in our community, but you guys could also do the exact one in yours, or even change it to adapt it to the circumstances you guys have from where you're from.
The most important thing is focusing on your own community, even if you can't donate books or things, and even if you can't volunteer your time. The most important thing is raising awareness, making sure that everybody knows what's going on in your homes, in your environments. Thank you for the
Do you guys have any questions? Wait, do you have any questions?